Thank you very much, Stephanie. So, can everyone hear me, first of all? Am I loud enough? Okay, I see thumbs up in the back, which is good. Before we get started on the presentation for today, I want to first of all introduce myself. As Stephanie mentioned, I'm Elizabeth Kurek and I manage partner growth at Uberall. I come from a cloud and hosting background, but this is my first Cinda event, and I'm very happy to meet all of you, some current Uberall partners as well as new ones. Before we dive into the session, it's late in the day, and I know you're all very tired, and you've been sitting in this hot room where we just turned the air conditioning on. So I just wanted to invite you to take a drink, have a glass of water, maybe stretch for a minute. And while you're doing that, if you cannot see my screen, I kindly ask that you please move up closer to the front because I'm going to be asking for your feedback, so it's very important that you're able to see the screens. So just take a minute, and anyone who can't see, please feel free to move forward. Okay, so I'm assuming since no one's moving, you can all see. So if you if you can at any point in time, please feel free to come up. So let's get started. Before we start talking about what we can do to get companies noticed, we first have to identify where customers are looking for them. And I'd like to start out with a question for all of you in the room today. So we're at Cinda Media Tech here in Valencia, and some of you are from here, many of you are from out of town. So if you wanted to go get some tapas for dinner tonight here in Valencia, what would you do? Open question. Yes? TripAdvisor? Ask Google? Ask the concierge? Okay. Yes? Google Maps? Phone? I see people pointing to phone. Sorry? Ask Bing. Okay, very good. I like that several companies are getting their names in there. Yes? Sorry? Samsung Places. Very good. There seems to be more or less, even though there are different answers here, a bit of a common theme, and that is that many of the places that are mentioned are searchable through a mobile device. And this being a Cinda event, this is not breaking news to most of you. However, it's always good to confirm this and, of course, to have some data. And what we're seeing is that since 2011 until now, there has been 60 times the number of near me searches on Google. And all of you who have just answered the question and have experience with this know this, that smartphones are everywhere now, growing, and people are leveraging their smartphones when they need to look for information, whether they're at home, whether they're in another city. So mobile continues to be of great importance, and it's a trend that we see that continues to grow. So how do we get companies noticed then? I actually want to make this presentation a little bit different maybe than some of the other ones today, and we wanted to illustrate this with a game show. And you're all playing, so congratulations. You're in the game show. Okay, oops. Just have to go the right way. So I have to first explain the rules. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two listings. And you're going to have 30 seconds to take a look at the two listings and decide which one you would choose. And this is going to be based on a search for tapas restaurants here in Valencia. And the 30 seconds is even a bit generous because, as most of you know, when people are looking on a mobile device on the go, the decision happens pretty quickly. But we're going to give you 30 seconds, and hopefully the sound is working. Okay, are you all ready to do the first question? Yeah? Okay. You have 30 seconds. Oh, I have to explain one more thing. The way that you're going to vote, at the end, I'm going to ask you to vote for the one that you would select by raising your hand, okay? So wait until the end, but take a look. That's an excellent question. The prize would be that you can get free swag at the Uberall booth. that we don't want to carry home with us. So, okay, ready? Here we go. And does music? You just push the little icon at the top. Is it working? The music's very important. There we go, 30 seconds. Seconds. Everyone paying attention? Okay, so for a show of hands, if you were looking for a restaurant in Valencia tonight for tapas, how many people in the room would choose listing A? Not a single one? Okay. And how many would choose B? Raise your hands, please. Okay, so for those of you who raised your hands and selected B, would anyone like to give a reason for why they chose B? Reviews? Okay, 5 stars. 5 stars on the reviews.
Number of reviews.
Number of reviews?
The meaningless of it. If one has 10 reviews, the one has 10 reviews, 1.8. The other one has 304.6.
Okay.
Guess. Which one is more reliable?
Okay, great. So reviews, number of reviews, quality. Anyone else? Information that influenced your decision? Oh, the pink surrounding in the photo. Okay, actually very valid point. The photos look good. Okay.
Both photos are okay.
The photos are okay. Yep. Both of them, yep. Yeah? Ah, yes, very good too. Yes, more data so you can see the popular times, data available. Great. Okay, so all of these are very important. I would also like to point out, if any of you are selling to small businesses in Spain, a lot of opportunity here, because as you can see, there's missing information on both of these, and when I was searching for examples, I kept finding this over and over again, so just confirming the need in this market. Okay, so we're going to show, oh, yes? Yes, that's a good question. So that, as you can see where it says add missing information, the phone number is missing. So even if you wanted to go with B, you wouldn't be able to call them or find their website. So chances are there actually is no right or wrong answer here. It's more of just getting feedback from yeah. So it's just the point of this example is just showing you, and we'll get into this in the summary, that there are various things that are influencing consumers' decision to go with a particular listing. They're all very important, and we'll touch on those points through the slides in the recap. So I will show you one more example. This one's going to be a little bit more challenging than the first one. So look closely, and here we go. And we'll need the music one more time, please. Thank you. Just for fun. And look closely. Okay, so we're going to do a vote again. So how many of you would go with listing A? Okay, show of hands. Okay, and how many with listing B? Ooh, okay, so this one's a bit more interesting because we've got about a 50-50 split here. For those of you who selected A, why did you choose that one? Would anyone like to share what was it about A that stood out to you? Michelin Guide, yes, very good. Closer, yes. Sorry? Online menu. Menu reviews, yes. Great, great, very good, all very good. I'm glad somebody got the menu. That was my hidden clue in this one. So great. Personally, I know when I'm going to select the menu is something that's important because I always need to check out and kind of pick out what I want to eat before I go somewhere. So very important. For those of you who selected B, would anyone like to share why they selected B?
The proportion of 5 stars on the review is higher than the proportion of the other one.
Okay, very good. Yes, the number of
Super good are more. They're more super good, even if there's only 8.
Got it. Yeah. Okay,
Super
good. Yep.
Then the other, and then on the left side there's a 4-star.
Yep.
And you know you're gonna pay expensive for a Michelin star. For people, that's it's okay.
Yep.
And here you say super good, and you know it's gonna be less expensive.
Okay, very good. So basically, so everyone in the back could hear, what Alain was saying is that the proportion was higher. So there are a greater number of 5-star reviews with B, and also compared to the price with the other one, knowing that it's Michelin star versus not, you would get a good value based on 5 stars. Anyone else for B? Yeah? Oh.
It's 180 meters away, the other one's 2 kilometers.
Okay, 180 meters away, so close versus 2 meters, yes?
Yeah. That's a significant point.
Okay, so basic answer, I like steak, yes. But you do see, how do you know that they offer steak?
Well, there were 3 pictures of it.
The pictures, right, very good, yes, the pictures. Yeah, so the hint, and even, yes, if you also, yeah, the pictures and information in the profiles, great. Okay, so now what we'll do is just summarize some of the things that you've all shared through our game, and thank you very much for playing. And we're going to talk about 4 basic steps that you can do to get companies noticed. So the first one is that many of you pointed out in the room is that you should keep your listings consistent and up to date. And again, this being a Cinda event, I don't need to stress this point over and over again. You all know it, but just as you saw in the 4 examples that we showed on the screen, there were various degrees of profile completeness. Some were missing phone number, some hours of operation, some websites. So very important to keep that up to date, and not just on Google. So I know for the example post, we showed Google, but there are many, many directories out there, and it's important to keep your business information up to date for all of the listings that are out there. And I just realized I should be walking with the clicker since I like to walk. Okay, step 2 is keeping the content current, and also to include rich data where it's appropriate. And what do I mean by that? So in the examples that you gave, some of you said, okay, I liked that listing and I went with that one because it had a menu attached, which is a link that you can include to your website. Some of you liked it because the restaurant offered steak. There are many other attributes which were not, factors of the content that were not specifically shown in those examples that are also all very important. So one example would be payment methods. So does your restaurant accept credit cards? I know for myself, recently I relocated to Berlin from the US. In the US, you can pay with credit cards everywhere. Europe, especially Berlin, I can tell you not so much. So knowing in advance, okay, what type of payment methods does that location have influences decisions. There are also things like brands. So if you're a store, and let's just say you're reselling Nike or Adidas, these are all important things, and especially your attributes. And attributes are, if you remember the screenshots that we showed earlier of the searches, attributes would be special, as I describe them in non-technical terms, the special keywords on Google, but also for other listings that are helping your ranking when people are searching for you. So this could be something like keyword steak, or for example, it could be something like vegan if you're looking for a vegan restaurant, or child-friendly if you're traveling with children. There are things like wheelchair accessible. For example, my grandmother's best friend is 95, so we need to go somewhere where she can go with her wheelchair. So all of these things are really important to keep to get noticed and also to keep things current. Next point, which several of you pointed out in the very first example, would be managing your online reviews. So this is becoming more and more important, and of course we'll share some data, because it's a conference, about the importance of online reviews. But just in a basic example, and that was illustrated by all of you in the room, one of the first things you said when looking at 2 listings was you look at the reviews. And if you have a lower score or negative reviews, that influences decisions. Our friends from Vendasta, who are here in the room, they actually published a very nice infographic about 50 statistics on why online reviews are important. Highly encourage you to check it out. One of the statistics that was in that report was regarding negative reviews. And that statistic was that 86% of people hesitate to select a listing or move forward when they see a negative review. That's 86%. So, if you're a business owner, you cannot control what people are writing about you, right? So they're going to write, and good or bad, there are always people who are a few wild or crazy customers who will write something about you. And you can't control that. But the important thing is how you respond to it and how you manage it. So for example, if somebody writes a negative review of your restaurant, you could either A, ignore it, but if you write a response and just say, oh, I'm very sorry that you had a bad experience, or, please contact our customer service team, or just showing that you're responding to a negative review. It's showing that you're professional and that you're, it could be that one customer, for whatever reason, had a strong opinion or a bad experience. So in essence, what you can do, to quote my colleague Francisca, you're turning a negative review into something positive by showing that you're responding to these things. The other side benefit of this is that as a business owner, you're just keeping an eye on what your customers are saying about you. So for example, if you manage a restaurant and you get a bad review about the steak, you would want to know, right? So it's identifying issues in your business as well. So very important to manage online reviews. Oh, and now the data to go with this. So confirming what we all talked about in the first few slides, 86% of consumers are searching online for local businesses, products, and services. 58% consider reviews and social comments before deciding on a brand. And as I mentioned, many, many more statistics to confirm this. So it's, in summary, what we should learn from this slide is that all of the listings are important and the reviews are becoming more and more important. So I'm going to take a moment for the 4th step, just to talk about something a little bit different than the first 3 that we discussed. So in the first 3, the online listings, they're things that you can fill out. They're things that you already know about the business: name, address, phone number, website if they have one, the content, so things like pictures, videos, menus, and then of course managing the reviews that are coming into you. But then you also have the opportunity to get noticed by proactively pushing information. And since we only have 20 minutes, I think, for this workshop, and this is a Cinda event, I won't get into a whole discussion on paid ads today, which we will save that for a future discussion. But we did want to talk about something that you can push to your customers and is at no additional cost, and those are social posts. And what do I mean by social post? So there are several directories that have been doing this for some time now. And this is where you can post information about your business under your profile. So for example, you could post something that says, oh, we have a special today on a summer cocktail, Or if you're a tax business, you could say, oh, it's tax season. Right now we're running a package on this bundle. Or it could just be, okay, this is our weekly menu as a restaurant. So it's news and information, special offers about your business that you can post, and it doesn't cost anything to do it. So this is one way that you can make your business stand out when people are searching online for you. I didn't show a specific example, but if you had two and you're looking at one listing that has basic information and the second one has information about a promo they're having that day, and you're deciding, you might say, oh, you know what, that one actually has a happy hour special, I'll go with that. So very important. One of the latest things in terms of social postings that happened since Cinda this spring until now is Google Post. So I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this, but earlier this summer, Google launched Post. So now this means that under your Google My Business profile, you can actually post, some examples here we have on phones, to your Google My Business profile at no additional cost. So this is a feature, again, launched late June of this year. At Uberall, we support it now. As of this quarter, it had launched, where you can also manage that as well. So again, a very cost-effective way to get your company noticed. Okay, so now I know I'm starting to lose some of you because the game is over, and I've been sharing some slides with data. So let's bring it all back and just say, what does this have to do with you, with all of you in the room today? So that's great. It's a great way to get companies noticed, but what does this have to do with your businesses? So as service providers, you have an opportunity here. And coming into this industry from, an SMB website cloud type of background, I was very excited about meeting our partners. Many of you in the room are Yellow Page companies, companies who have strong sales teams, and you have a unique opportunity. And why is that? So I think actually there was a comment from the gentleman earlier today that small businesses want to focus on their core business. So if you think about it, small businesses put their blood, sweat, and tears into their business. So if you're a plumber, if you're a baker, if you are a florist, if you are a law firm, if you're an accountant, that is your business and that is your life. A lot of times your personal investment in that business, you have very limited resources, most of all time. And probably, okay, there's stuff I have to do to get noticed, but I don't have time to deal with that because I need to run my business. I have calls coming in, I have bills to pay, I have to worry about my inventory, all of these things. So the SMBs want to focus on their core business and need something that's easy to manage. And even better, I'm quoting this from the local search association, 75% of small businesses prefer to work with one company. So what that means is if you can get them in and offer a solution that encompasses all of this, you're more likely to get their business. And again, I'll go give the quote here from the local search association that goes along with this, that small businesses are looking for a trusted advisor. And, as a small business owner, you're focused on running your business. You don't have much time. You know you need this. And you're looking for somebody who can help you. You're going to need a solution for this. And you, as service providers in the room, have a big advantage. And what do I mean by that? Many of you have been active in these regions for a long time. You know the local market, you know the language, you know the business culture, and most importantly, many of you have direct relationships with these businesses already. You may have been selling them prints, you may have been selling them any multitude of things as service providers to small businesses. So you already have an advantage in that you have the connection to these local markets. And there's one more piece of good news. Specifically with the review management, a lot of the demand generation is being done for you. The examples that we're showing on the screen here, we just picked from Facebook, Foursquare, Yelp, and Google. These are directories where when you're logging into that directory or you visited that place, these directories are prompting the customers to write reviews. So that means when I check in somewhere on Facebook, the next day I look on my phone on Facebook, I got a notification that says, "Hi Elizabeth, you checked into the Barcello Hotel. Would you like to leave a review?" And this doesn't cost you anything in terms of your marketing budget to get these customers. The directories are pushing people to leave reviews. And what this means is that the small businesses need a way to manage this. And who better to do this than all of you in the room, because you have the relationship, you know the market, you're a trusted advisor to be able to help them with these things. So if you are looking for a solution, what are some of the things that are important to look for? So first of all, you want to have a solution that makes it easy to manage everything in one place. So rather than having to log into Facebook, Foursquare, Yelp, Google, HotFrog, any of these directory listings individually, you want something that you can manage all of the listings in one place. And this means not only the name, address, and phone number, but it means content. So the attributes that we talked about earlier, the keywords, any of the brands, the payment methods, photos, videos, anything that you can manage from one single location. And for many of you in the room, you have strong sales teams who are responsible for selling this. So the solution also needs to be something that your sales teams can understand. So not a lot of information that they don't need, but basically, this is how the product works, this is how you sell it. And also it should be something that's easy for your customers to understand as well. So if you go out to a small business and say, "Hey, can I help you with your Google attributes?" They're gonna look at you like, "Excuse me, what is that?" So it has to be easy for your small businesses to understand, and you as the service providers have a role to educate them, to be an advisor and to explain what that is and why it's important. And so you should really also look for a solution that can grow with you and with your customers. So when we talked about the 4 steps, so starting them out with their basic listing information, which many small businesses still do not have, as you saw from the examples there. Make sure your phone number is listed, website, etc. Then going with the content, moving on to reviews and posts, your small business customers will be at different levels of those steps. Right now, many of them, depending on the region, might be in step 1. In more mature markets, they might be at step 3. But you want a solution that offers all of that and is able to grow with you and your customers as they move up the steps. And with that being said, if you do want to discuss this further about the topics that we discussed today or the solutions that are available through Uber All, our booth is right outside. Happy to talk to all of you. Also, some of our biz dev and partner growth team are here as well to answer any questions. And Stephanie, if we still have time, can I are there any questions or? Okay. So are there any questions?
No, I have a comment.
Yeah, sure.
You know what's missing there? Online reservations.
Okay. So that's a very good point. And actually,
it's time they use their time answering the phone.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So that's a good point to point out. Actually, a few of the examples that we showed, I don't know if they made it into the final edits, but they did have reservations, and that's something that you can include as a link. I know it's possible through Uber All, but also something that would be important depending on the industry, especially for businesses where reservations are important. Yes, absolutely. Good point. Yeah.
In this particular case.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Yeah, for the especially for the restaurant industry or things where people are making appointments, it would be important, critical. Yes.
Everything.
Yes. Good point. Any other questions?
I mean,
Comments? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we wanted also to say a big thank you for the drinks last night, because I think everybody enjoys. So you have
Thank you to Uber All, because I didn't pay for it, but thank you anyway.